Hello, my name is Gertrude, and this is the Tech Girl podcast. I believe we're all created to have a purpose on this earth. The best thing you can do is inevitably seek your purpose. That's what I'm trying to do with this podcast. I speak to different people that have gone through different tech journeys in order to learn from them, as well as to discuss how people can get into tech. I hope to encourage and support more people to take up tech-related careers. In this episode, I chat with Omotola. Omotola is a software engineer, a speaker, teacher, creator of My Coding Habits, and she also blogs for She Can Code. In this episode, Omotola breaks down how you can get started with your tech journey depending on your personal situation, be it a high school graduate or someone looking to transition, what you like, and how best you can get started. If this sounds interesting, let's get into the interview with Omotola. Hello, Omotola. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I am so happy to be chatting with you because it's been such a long time that I've been following you and I love your content. So I know who you are, but before we get into talking more about you, I just want you to describe a typical day for you. What does it look like?
Hi, Gertrude. Thank you for having me on your podcast. So if I was to jump into your question, which is quite interesting. So at the moment, I'm working from home. So my normal day-to-day working from home life isn't, I will not say it's too fancy because now the summer is fast approaching and we get light. I normally kind of wake up by like 8. No, I actually wake up by 6-ish. And then I actually start work by 8:30. And then normally I work for about maybe 2 hours and then we have our first meeting for that day. Mm-hmm. And then after that, keep on working. I normally go on a break by 1 o'clock. Then my break is normally for an hour. And then once I've done that, come back to work and then crack on with it. Sometimes it depends on what I'm doing. I could be collaborating with somebody or I might just be doing my own thing. And I will typically finish by like 5:30, depending on what's like happening for that day or what I'm working on. So that's typically my day, like working from home.
Oh, that's so amazing. Do you enjoy working from home?
So like, I think what I enjoy about it is just that whole, I'm not rushing to go anywhere. I'm not like trying to look my best. Mm-hmm. I do have a shower before I get to my desk. Yeah. So I have that little small routine and like, it's good because it's convenient and I don't have to do all those extraness to get ready. Yeah. So for that aspect, yes, I do enjoy it. But I think at this point, it's kind of getting boring because I just feel sometimes it's nice to like interact with people and just, get a sense of what every other person is doing. Yeah. But now, like if you're stuck with a problem, it's just you by yourself, mm-hmm. which can be helpful or cannot be helpful depending on like what you're doing. Yeah. But I'll say it's like partly, I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of like it, but sometimes I don't like it as well. I think I want a balance of both, like going into the office and working from home. But that really depends on like, because I set my job, mm-hmm. I set my job in the pandemic. So mm-hmm. like I didn't quite start working with my colleagues in person. So I don't think I had the opportunity to form like actual relationships with them. Yeah. So like it's a bit awkward because it's like, okay, I don't really talk to you. We don't really know what to talk about. So when I go into the office, mm-hmm. There's no opportunity to just like create that friendship really. So I think if I were to start like over again, mm-hmm. and I had that opportunity, it would be good to like create that relationship first. And then if we then go back and we're not walking by ourselves at home, is a lot better to kind of like balance those two things out. I don't know if anyone gets me, but like that's where I'm currently at.
I totally get you because I also started my work full-time remote and it was really difficult to just like kickstart the work. But luckily some weeks ago, I think, maybe last month, then we were told we can start going to the office again. And I remember the first few days were a bit like, okay, this is a bit awkward. And then we have like a really good manager who also has like these different activities that you have to do. And then it sort of forced us to interact differently outside the work. We had like hackathons, we had games,
lots and lots of things. So now I sort of feel like, okay, now we're having a connection. Now it makes it easier. So yeah, I totally feel you.
Yeah, I think that's quite important. I don't know what activities you guys are forced to kind of do, but
It
I
was a
remember
lot.
it was a
Like
lot.
weird games to do with the company, not do with the
Yeah.
company, try to find what common things we share as a team. And then it was like, wow, it's so hard to find. Like if you take a group of 7 people and then you're like, so find unique things about yourselves. Like, and then I was like, oh, do you like this? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fun. I know when I said with my company we had a few things, but I'm not sure. Maybe they're doing that because of like newcomers and just trying to get them comfortable with stuff.
Mhm.
And but now like I can't remember the last time we actually had like a company thing happening. I don't know
Mhm.
whether it's because we've just been busy, but that sounds quite fun. It sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun at your company.
Yeah, we do. We have an interesting culture. But
Yeah.
so tell me and everybody else that will be listening a little bit about yourself, what you do, just everything. Well, not everything, not everything.
Thank you. So my name is Omotola Shogunle, and I am currently working as a backend engineer at a company in Salford, Manchester. And I've only been doing that for about almost 2 years now.
Mhm.
But like I am originally Nigerian, sorry.
Okay, shout out Africa.
So I went to secondary school, high school in Nigeria, and then I then came to the UK to study software engineering at the University of Salford. And I did that for 4 years because I took a year out and I was working in industry. And then I came back for my final year. And then the pandemic hit, and then I started work. So that's me in a nutshell. So like when I'm not doing my day job, doing something like coding out and all of that stuff, I do create content on my page, my coding habits. I think that's where you found me, Gertrude.
Yes.
And then sometimes I teach as well. Sometimes I give talks. And so if I'm not doing anything coding related, then like you can probably find me somewhere doing something creative, dancing, spending time with my friends, spending time with family, or just like doing something fun, really, something I would never really do away from my computer. And so that's me.
Did you always want to be a software engineer?
And not always. I never always wanted to be a software engineer. So like, I think when I was in secondary school, people just kind of imposed this and just thought, okay, this girl is quite serious. So like, she's probably going to end up being a doctor or something. And I was good in the sciences. So like, I didn't mind because like, it was something I was good in anyways. And I think like my parents never like spoke it, but it was almost like an expectation, like an onset expectation. And maybe I might have said it to them as well. So everyone was just like gunning for me to become a doctor until like I finished secondary school and I was writing the exams and I wasn't quite meeting the cutoff marks to get into university for medicine. And so then I decided, so I had to stay home, and from stay home, I was blogging. So I said like blogging, nothing technical related. It was just like a lifestyle blog.
Yeah.
And I got really curious about how to like change their website and how it looks. From there, I started learning some HTML and CSS from W3 schools. Shout out W3 schools, if you know, you know.
Yes.
And then from there, I just thought this is quite cool. I could learn code. I was gonna teach me how to like build websites and build applications. And I knew at that time that tech is something that would be everywhere. So that means I'm going to be like flexible enough to like work in any industry that I wanted. It didn't matter. So like I was like, okay, you know what, mom and dad, I wanna switch my want to do as a career to software engineering instead. And at the time in Nigeria, they were only really doing, I think, computer science.
Yeah.
And they were only doing computer science, but then I wanted something a bit more practical, which was software engineering. And so they were doing that in this country. And so I decided to come here to study. And here I am, like so many years later.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I am originally from Zambia,
Oh,
and
nice.
as well, there's a certain expectation of you becoming a doctor, especially when you're, like you say, more on the quiet side, maybe getting good grades, and they're like, oh, you're going to be a doctor, or like there's just this reinforcement of becoming a doctor or a lawyer. And so
Mm-hmm.
growing up as well, I always say that I would be a doctor. And just like you, when I was about the 12th grade, which is like leaving high school, I didn't make the cutoff points. I did not. So then I knew that maybe medicine will not be for me. So then I had to like, what's the next
Reach
best
out.
thing? Yeah, exactly. So it's really interesting that you sort of had a similar background. But
Yeah, I
then,
did.
yeah, how did you know that maybe what made you choose? So you started working on websites and then you started looking into HTML, CSS, but was there any particular reason why you chose HTML and CSS? Did you ever, how did you land on that decision?
So I think it was almost like a natural progression for me because at the time I was working like on a blog, and
Mhm,
so that blog needed to look a certain way, and
mhm,
I wanted it to look a certain way. So
mhm.
these are the languages that you use to kind of change the look and feel of any website that you're working on. So that was kind of the natural like thing that would happen if that was your interest.
Mhm.
So that's why I chose that, and I think another thing that drew me to it because it was interactive. So with
Yeah,
HTML and CSS, when you code what you're writing, you kind of see what you're doing like almost
exactly.
immediately. So that was
Yeah.
like a nice like interactive way to like learn a new skill. So I think those were the two reasons why I just kind of fell into that kind of space at the time. So for anything programming, that was my understanding at the time. So it's kind of blew up the past couple of years, but
Yeah.
then I don't think there was like, well, maybe I did search a lot, but there wasn't as much information as there is right now about this space and what you can do.
Mm. Did you have any, how did you deal with like when you encountered, let's say, problems or errors and stuff like that? How did you deal with it at the time?
So like I wouldn't say that like I really went because how it happened was
Mhm,
so I was writing my articles and then
mhm,
I thought, okay, let's go on W3 schools and play with a few things and see
mhm.
what it gives us back.
Yeah.
So when I found that there wasn't any, oh, let's go and build this like whole website from scratch, and what happened then instead was I said, okay, good, this is cool. I've tried it out on this website. I like what I see. Let me
Yeah.
go and look for the course that I'm going to study at university to get me to where I need to be. So that was what the progression was. But then when it comes to how did I like actually struggle when I then got into university and
Mhm,
then I was doing the task and maybe finding that like, okay, I wasn't grabbing this as much as my peers were grabbing at that point in time.
mhm.
I think it was just more or less sometimes I get frustrated, giving myself a break and then
Yeah.
coming back to it later on, or having the courage to like ask my colleagues if they got it like better than me, they could explain
Mhm.
to me, or I ask my lecturer and be like, okay, I can't get this, or like I just googled or watched YouTube videos so
Yeah.
that I could comprehend it myself, because obviously I just moved from a different country,
Mhm,
and the way they
mhm.
spoke, the way they taught, their lifestyle, everything was a bit different. So
Yeah.
maybe it took me a bit of time to understand like the lecturing styles of the lecturer, but
Mhm.
like I tried to ask as much questions as possible, did my own personal learning by myself just to see how I was able to understand that, and then practice as much as I could. And that was good because that was the only community that I had at the time, just like my mates and my lecturers and YouTube really.
That's really good. Because I also realized getting into the field that asking for help is a good thing
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's just so many moving parts that especially in the beginning will make you feel like maybe you're not fit for the field until
Yeah.
you realize that actually it has nothing to do with you. Like some things it's just about experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I think it's something that like because the tech industry, yeah, like you can't know everything. It's so vast. There are so many things that like you need to like, I mean, that push at you as an engineer all the time.
Yes.
And it's almost like it's like if you're expecting somebody to know every single thing, that's like an unrealistic expectation because of how much knowledge is out there to kind of grasp. So sometimes you can feel like you've not learned anything because maybe you face something you're still struggling and you feel like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing for the last like how many years or whatever. But like I think I've gone through that phase and it's usually not helpful. If you're still able to like keep a job or if you're still able to like build stuff, you're all right. Like I don't think
you're doing good.
Yeah, you're actually doing good. So it's hard, but like I mean, I wouldn't like I've stopped beating myself up, to be honest. Like if I don't know something, I don't know it. So there's an opportunity for me to learn and just like move on with it, really. Because like, yeah. I mean, there are people, don't get me wrong, there are people that are smart, like really, really smart, and you're just like, I don't know, that probably would have taken me, I don't know, X amount of time to figure out, but like you seem to have figured it out like in a short like amount of time. And I'm so jealous of that. And maybe if you ask them, they might be like, oh, it's just because I've been practicing for X amount of time. That's why this is easy for me. That might be the case. Or they might just be more intelligent than you. Maybe like accept that as well. And, you know, you just learn in that point in time, really.
Exactly. And it's so good because people are always willing to help and they're so collaborative.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. And also the thing that you say where people have been practicing for maybe a longer period, that's something that I have noticed with a lot of people in Sweden. They start programming when they are really young.
My God, tell me.
And we get into the field when we're in our 20s or, you know, after we've already done our bachelor's and master's degree, and then we get into the tech field. And then it's like, oh, this feels so new, but this person has like, this is almost their lifestyle. So
true.
Yeah.
True. Like, and even I think there's some kind of correlation with people that are gamers as well.
Yeah.
And people that are code. So like, I think even it's a mindset, a way of thinking as well.
Yeah.
And that has been established for these people like quite at an early age. So sometimes it will be unfair for you to then compare your own experiences with like somebody that has been doing this for like quite a long time.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get what you mean when you say that.
Yeah. So what has been like your most fulfilling thing or exciting in the journey so far?
Wow, this is a big one. What has been my most fulfilling thing? Let me think. So like, I mean, quite a few things. I mean, I was able to like finish university with the first class. I missed off like all the things that, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. With all the things that happened with the pandemic and stuff, I was able to finish that. And then in that same time, I was also able to like sell myself so well to the current job that I'm currently working and landed the job that I landed. And at the time when I started, like the tech stack that they were using wasn't something that I've actually like used before. But like, I think I appreciate that I was able to pick it up at a good amount, like at a good rate, not like exceedingly like fast or anything, but I think at a good rate, I was able to do that. And I've been able to work on tickets that like are quite difficult.
Yeah.
But I still had that resilience to still stick to it and actually solve the problem. There've been a couple of like small wins like within the company that like I was able to like pick up a feature, work through it. Even if I got like so many feedback, I was able to like go back to that problem and solve it to the best of my ability. And I have gotten like verbal like appraisals from my colleagues to say, oh, okay, Omotola, well done on this or that, etc.
Yeah.
So those little wins within the company has been actually quite good. And then outside of work, I was featured in a book called Voices in the Shadow. That helps young women and girls that want to get into the tech industry, to inspire them to see like other women that are kind of doing similar things. I was very honored to be part of that project. And then just like my page, being able to reach people, share my experience, see what other people are talking about, and just like do it. Like I have a collaboration with She Can Code blog to like write articles for them. So like just little things around like the tech and what I've been doing has really been fulfilling in their ways. So that's what I'll say.
Yes, they're not little things, they're big things.
Big things.
And they're amazing.
Thank you.
You talk about your page, which I totally love. And I would encourage anyone looking to get into tech or is already in tech to check out Omotola's page, My Coding Habits, because there's all the resources. How did you come up with the name and what made you decide to go that route?
So honestly, I cannot remember how I came up with that name. I know that because I journal quite a bit.
Yeah.
So if I go to my notes and stuff, I think I wrote it down somewhere. And it was it was something that like I wanted to do. Or I was thinking about doing. At the time, I wasn't even sure what avenue I was going to do what I wanted to do at. So I just thought, okay, I think during the pandemic, we had so much time in our hands. And I can remember on my normal page, I saw this like Instagram person talking about how we could go on this class and kind of do like a social media like challenge and just like a quick kind of intro class on how you can use social media to push out like whatever you're interested in. And I just thought, okay, this is a nice avenue to just kind of like, create my page and start pushing out content. And so I did that. And then that's literally how I started like My Coding Habits. But I know it's just something, I think the way I thought about it was just like a page where I just shared my own experiences and then just met other people that were like me as well. And just like did whatever that was going to bring, then I was just going to venture into it. But I can't remember if there was like a strategic process with how I came up with the name. I don't know how, but it just, I think that's how I feel like my brother had something to do with it, but I honestly cannot remember how I came up with that name. But that's how it started. And that's we're here now.
I really like it. I always go to it because it's like very practical tips on how you can do certain things. Like I also like it when you describe words, like tech words, like say to me like a 5-year-old or something like that. I love them.
Thank you.
I really do.
I find that people like those ones as well. And I see why that's like confusing, especially when you join like a new company as a newbie. You're just like, what the hell? Just all words I need to like get to grips with. So thank you for the feedback.
Okay. So ideally, I would like with this podcast for people that are looking to get into tech or at the beginning of their journey, or are generally curious. What would you say to like those kinds of people? How can they get started? Like, what's the next best step?
Okay, good question. So like quite a lot of people are quite interested in this space at the moment. And like what I normally like to say is they need to do as much research as possible. So like I don't know what everyone's individual journey is, and I don't know what you like, etc. You're the only one that kind of knows like these things, right? You might be a bit confused because like you don't know what's out there, but then I think you really need to start with yourself. What do you think that you actually quite enjoy? Because the tech industry, we've got like coding related jobs, roles, and then non-coding related roles. And so if you ask yourself these questions, you're going to be able to decide where you want to go from there. So if, for example, you're somebody that enjoys problem solving, or you're somebody that has a keen interest with how to build websites or mobile applications, or even just software in general, then you might find that, okay, cool, this is what I want to be doing. So your next step at that point would be, what programming languages are out there that I could start with to start like building my skills in this area. And so once you've kind of like looked at that, then let's say, for example, you jump on either you want to start with JavaScript or you want to start with Java, for example, then you can then decide, okay, have I got money? Like, I think you might be thinking, how old am I right now? Have I got money to go to uni? And what's the time scale between when I start learning the skill and when I actually get a job?
Exactly.
Like all of those questions are quite important. So if, for example, I was a young person, I was 18 years old and I was having all these questions, I personally think it's still a good idea to go to uni, just because like uni is just not like you entering lecture halls and like learning. You get that experience to network with other people and just create university experiences.
Exactly. And it builds the foundation in a different way, because let's say for me, who had already done uni and then getting into programming, I know that if I, let's say, had a bachelor's in computer science or something, there's certain fundamental information that you grasp over a longer period of time compared to a boot camp, which I did. So I agree with that. When you're young, it's always nice to get like
I agree. Yeah, that's like absolutely correct. So like if I was young and I had a bit of money, like there was money for me to go to uni, then I'll totally go to uni for the course. But if like you finish your bachelor degree, you've not got time on your hands, you don't have a lot of money, then the next best thing is probably looking for a structured boot camp. I personally, I don't know if I could be like a self-taught developer, only because like is a bit too scattered for my liking. I like a bit of structure. So like I would rather like go for like a boot camp, and there are loads of like free ones. But I would say that even if it's not free, like compared to what you pay at uni, I don't still think that it's still like a bad idea to like invest some money for your future. I know people like free stuff, but like if in your area that was the only opportunity, you would not say you pass it up just because you don't want to pay any money. At the end of the day, the people that are teaching as well have paid money to get the skills that they're trying to teach you. So like so you look for a boot camp, and if you find one that's cool, you can, whether free or paid, you can do that. And then once you've practiced and you build something solid, then I think you can then start putting your skills on LinkedIn, start like, people are actually quite strategic with these things now. They tell a story on LinkedIn, and like that gives you so much like, presence, and people are coming up to you. Like I don't know, well now I'm working now, and like I don't even go and look for jobs anymore. Literally, this recruiters come onto my DMs and they're asking, "Oh, we've got this for you. Oh, we've got this for you," right? But like, obviously, when you're starting out, that might not be the case. But like, use social media, use your network, tell people that you're looking for a role, show them what you're good at doing, and that's like always the way to go. But then if, for example, it's a non-coding role that you're interested in, that's maybe a little bit different, because I don't think you find a lot of like non-coding like boot camps that like are available. And I think for this is really just opportunistic. So like, what I mean by that is sometimes if you're looking for like a tech role that is managerial, or you're looking for a tech role that is, let's say, sales, for example, not UI UX design, because I think you can always buy a course or something for that one and like learn it that way. But for those courses, you need to like look into what your previous experiences have been, and then kind of tailor that to your CV. And then either who knows, there might be some kind of apprenticeships, entry level like managerial or sales roles that you can start with, and then you climb your way up that way. So there's always ways to do these things. You just need to really do your research and see what's around you, and then use your network as much as possible, and get the skills that you need for that role that you're wanting to pursue. And no one really guarantees that this process is going to take you like 2 months, because everyone wants it really quick. But in reality, people are spending a year, if not as at the minimum, to get to the point that they want to get to. I mean, if you're really brilliant, then maybe that can take you like a shorter period of time. But like in reality, a lot of people, it takes them quite a while before they get to the point that they need to be.
Exactly. It does take time. And that's something that I always say to people that are starting out, like, don't expect to, like, don't set unrealistic expectations, because it will take time, no matter how smart you are, no matter how, because you're stepping into different skills, and it will take you to develop that habit of doing and working on those skills, and then communicating those skills in order for you to get to the next level that you want to get to. And you wouldn't expect that to happen in like a few days. So like, you have to give yourself patience and be a bit realistic. Being ambitious is something good, but you have to be realistic as well.
Yeah, like that's like 100% accurate. I 100% agree with that. So people just need to be like patient with themselves. I know the tech world, everybody's showing all the bougie things that they're doing with tech, and we all want to like, get there. But it's hard work. It's really hard work if you want to stand out. So you put in the work, and hopefully you get the results that you want, really.
Exactly. I really like your advice, and just what you've said about also really looking at yourself and doing your own research, because we are all very different. And so
and like, I mean, you might even do your research, and then you start like coding, and you realize that, oh God, this is not for me. I totally hate it. It's fine. You can always change, but like, you just need something to get your feet in there, and then you can then decide, okay, I want to venture out into this or that, and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. So I am a little bit curious about this one, because now there's a lot of talk about tech and how tech is growing, and how the future is just all about tech and all that kind of thing. So should we all learn to code?
Should we all learn to code? I don't necessarily think so. I don't necessarily think everybody should learn how to code, because, I mean, it's not necessary. You can understand it, like you can understand the high concepts of like how things work and why we need etc. But like, does everybody need to know the tiny details about how it works? I don't necessarily think so. But I think for you to stay relevant, you need to understand like how these tools work and how they're relevant to like our day-to-day lives. And I think if you have a general understanding of that, then you're cool, like you'll be all right. But I don't necessarily think everyone needs to code. And I don't also necessarily think everybody needs to code to, get a good enough salary to be happy in this life. Like, there are people that are doing like things that are not, you don't even write one line of code and they're still making good money. So if that's your own argument of, okay, I need to learn how to code so I can make so much money, that's not the case. You might even find that even non-coding roles, some of them are making a lot more money than people that are actually like writing the code. So so that's another dilemma to like look into. But I don't necessarily think everybody needs to code. They just need to understand tech, right, in general, and how it affects our lives, so that you're not left behind. And if you need to keep on skilling up to make sure that you're on trend, then yes, that's what you need to stay on top of, but not necessarily how to code.
Okay, nice. I like to hear that. It's been interesting, because I think as technology progresses and all these technologies keep growing, it's always like a conversation, and also moving from like code to low code or no code at all. How is it going to be like in the future, and how will careers look like?
I mean, it's funny how like we're progressing as like humans, because some of these jobs that we're seeing now, we can start having even a lot like more interesting roles. There are people that are quitting their jobs now just to create content, because like that's what people are, spending so much time consuming these days. Exactly. And I don't know what other very weird, quirky roles are going to come up in the future. But like, I mean, who knows? Like, the thing is just to stay on top of trends and just, make sure you're still relevant in the field, really. That's the only thing we can think of at the moment.
Oh, definitely. Well, Omotola, it's been amazing chatting with you. I cannot thank you enough for having come here to have a chat with me. And I totally love your content. I love your social media. It's been really helpful in my life and super inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I just want you to tell people where they can find you and, all about you.
Okay. I think at the moment, like I'm just really on Instagram, my coding habits. Like I've got other social medias like Twitter and TikTok, but like I'm not very active on those platforms. Just sometimes I repurpose my content and like put it on TikTok. But like if you really want to get to me quick, then Instagram is your best bet.
Okay, perfect. And I will have the description to Omotola's Instagram. And I will have the link to Omotola's Instagram in the description notes.
Okay, thank you. Well,
yeah, no worries. We've come to the end of the podcast, but before I let you go, I just want to ask you a wild card, which is, how does impact matter to you?
Yes, it matters 100% to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing you want to know why.
Yes.
Impact is important to me because it kind of makes what you're doing a little bit more worthwhile. So like if you're just like churning out code, but you don't actually know how it's affecting lives or how it's making people's lives better, or like, I don't know, how you're making things better in general, then it's almost like there's no purpose to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not satisfying. So as human beings, I think we all have that innate desire to know that we're somehow, making a difference in this world. So that's the first reason why impact is important. And then the second reason is that if today I decide to leave my job and I want to go to another job, they will want to know what impact I made in my previous job. And if I'm not able to articulate, or if I'm not able to actually express that, then it's almost like, why should they hire you, right? So yeah, those are the two things why impact is important to me.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I would go on chatting with you, but I have to let you go.
This is actually my first podcast, so
I am honored. Such an honor. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Take care, and once again, thank you so much for coming.
You have been listening to the Tech Girl podcast with me, Gertrude. I hope you can join me for another episode where I'll be talking to another person and going through their tech journey. You can find me on Instagram at thetechgirl.dev.